You know, these days, cars are built better than ever. We've got engines that can easily go 200,000 miles if you just treat them right. But here's the truth I've seen over and over again in the shop. Even the best, newest cars can end up knocking, smoking, or straight up dying before 100,000 miles. And most of the time, it's not because of some factory defect. It's because of the driver. I've seen brand new engines torn to pieces because folks don't know how to warm up their car, shift properly, or even change the oil on time. Doesn't matter if it's a fancy new turbocharged SUV or a basic 4-cylinder commuter, bad habits kill them all the same. So in this video, we're gonna talk about 5 common driving habits that ruin your engine, even if you don't realize you're doing them. I'll explain each one in plain English and tell you what to do instead, so you don't end up needing a new engine before your car's even paid off. It's the Car Problems YouTube channel. Subscribe and let's get started. Cold starts and hard acceleration. One of the worst things you can do to your engine is jump in, start it cold, and immediately floor it. Your engine oil is thick and sluggish when it's cold, especially in winter. It needs a minute or two to circulate properly and coat all the moving parts. If you rev the engine or drive aggressively right after starting, you're putting a ton of pressure on metal parts that don't have enough lubrication yet. That leads to excessive wear on your pistons, crank, shaft, and valves. Give your engine 30 to 60 seconds to settle before hitting the gas. Trust me, it'll live longer. You'd be surprised how many folks drive around for weeks, or even months, with their oil light flickering or just completely ignore checking their oil level. The engine needs oil not just for lubrication, but to stay cool and clean inside. When it gets too low, metal parts start grinding against each other. First, you'll get a ticking noise, then a knocking sound, and eventually, silence. That's when the engine seizes. A modern engine can cost anywhere from $4,000 to $10,000 to replace. And honestly, all of it could have been avoided by just checking your dipstick once a month and topping off a quart when needed. If your car's burning oil or leaking even a little, it's your job to stay on top of it. Oil isn't a set it and forget it thing. It's really the lifeline of your engine. Neglect it and you'll be back in my shop with a sad face and an empty wallet. Lugging the engine in a high gear. Yeah, this is something I see a lot with folks trying to save gas. Driving in a gear that's just too high for your speed causes the engine to struggle, especially when you're going uphill. You'll probably notice it feels like the car's jerking or vibrating. That's what we call lugging, and honestly, it puts a lot of strain on the engine, mounts, and transmission. It's better to downshift and let the engine spin a little faster than to force it to grunt its way up. Engines are built to rev. Don't be afraid to use the power band. Ignoring the oil change schedule. Now, you'd be surprised how many people think they can skip oil changes just one more time. Modern engines are tough, sure, but oil is still the lifeblood. When you delay changes, that oil breaks down and basically turns into sludge. And, that sludge clogs passages, leads to overheating, and causes parts to grind instead of glide. Over time, you could be looking at worn piston rings, damaged camshafts, or even a full engine rebuild. Stick to the recommended schedule, even better if you use quality oil and filters. And check your dipstick now and then. Revving before shutting down. A lot of folks think it's a good idea to rev the engine before turning the car off, especially in older cars or after a spirited drive. But honestly, that's a bad habit. High revs just before shutting down push unburned fuel and extra heat into the system right before the oil pump stops circulating. That heat can cook the oil inside your turbocharger, if you have one, warp metal parts, and create carbon buildup in the combustion chamber. Instead, let the engine idle for 20 to 30 seconds before shutting off, especially after a long drive. That gives everything time to cool and settle. Engines are tougher than they used to be, but they're not invincible. These 5 habits are like slow poison. They won't kill your engine tomorrow, but keep doing them and you'll be in my shop sooner than you want. Treat your engine right, and it'll return the favor with years of smooth driving and fewer headaches.